In case you have some problems working out years and months, let's just first do some practice for that before we move on to the more complicated problem of finding the principal amount. How do we get to that? But first of all, let's just do some review practice on how to change years and months into decimals. So you've done that a long time ago. Let's just do a quick review so you catch up with what you may have forgotten. 2 years, 8 months. Now 8 months is what fraction of a year? So 8 months is 8 months out of 12 months. So 8/12. Reduce that to 2/3, turn that into a decimal, and you get 0.67 years. So it's 2.67. Try this one, 5 years and 3 months. Well, 3 months is what fraction of one whole year? 1 year is 12 months. 3 months out of 12 months, which is 3/12, or a quarter, which is 0.25, 0.25 years. So it's 5.25 years. That's how you work out months in terms of years. If you want to change 5 years, 9 months, well, think of 9 months as what fraction of one whole year? It's 9/12 of a year, which is 3/4 of a year, which is 0.75 years. So it's 5.075 years. And the last one, 1 year, 5 months. Okay, work it out. That's right, 5/12. You change that into a decimal, divide 5 by 12, and you will get 0.42. So the answer is 1.42. You got that? Great. Just practice this so that you don't forget how to convert years and months into just years, because that's what you'd need for all the calculations and percentages. Okay, let's get back to this. If you look at this as interest, $360 in 2 years at this rate, we can write it down as a sentence like we identify this as the rate. So that's 12% on how much? Well, it's on the money I need to earn this much. So the money I need, which is the money I need to put into the bank to earn this much interest, would be what? The principal. So we write 12% of the principal. What would that be equal to? Of course, the interest. So this interest will come if you apply 12% on the principal, and you'll get the interest. And how much is the interest? We have it right there. It's $360, which is, of course, not in 1 year, it's in 2 years. So we know that this is for 2 years. So look at this statement. This statement says in one simple mathematical sentence what this is really saying. The information that you're getting here is basically this. And we can change it to 1 year. You know the principal is the same, 12% of the principal equals to the interest, which is $360, but that's for 2 years. How much would we earn in 1 year? So if we divide it by 2, that's how we get how much we'll get in 1 year, the interest. So if you change that in terms of what these things are called by their names, this is the rate. 12% is the rate. Of means to multiply. We'll do that. And that's how we get the interest divided by, what is this? The time for 1 year. So if you take the rate multiplied by the principal, you'll get the interest, and you divide it by the time, then you'll get the interest for 1 year. So this is all now for 1 year. Got it? Good. Now let's see how this moves. Imagine this is a red block. This is a black block equals to this. Something times something equals to something else. It's like saying 5 times 8 is 40. 40 divided by 5 would give us this. And 40 divided by this would give us this. So let's follow that rule that we know, that if we divide this by this, then of course we'll get this. Basically, that means this whole thing divided by the red equals to this. So we now uncover this. We can see what it means. The principal equals to the interest divided by the time, right? And whatever the answer is to that, you divide it by the rate, or multiplied by 1 upon the rate, because we flip it when we divide. So we have the making of a rule here, an algorithm, kind of a way of doing this thing in a general form. So this is what we have. So now we can put P for principal, I for interest, T for time, and of course 1 over rate means 1 over R. Or to simplify it further, we simply write it as P equals to I. Of course, I times 1 is just I, and T and R together is T times R. The interest was 360. If we divide it by the time, we'll get the interest for 1 year. And then we multiply it by, or divide it by the rate, actually, which means multiplied by 1 over the rate, which is in terms of percent, that's 12%. And so now you can work this value out simply by writing 0.12 as 12%. And then if you calculate this, this will be 180, and this slides down under there. And if you divide it, you'll get $1,500. That means the amount of money I need to earn $360 interest in 2 years would be $1,500. That's how you work it out. There you go. So there are different ways of working on this. So when we say the R is 12%, we can think about this R in terms of R percent, which means R over 100. So what we really have here is, if we multiply T times R, and below that write 100, it's the same thing. T times R over 100 can be written this way, which actually is this I, or interest. Let's show it here. This interest here is being divided by, this line here is divided by this whole chunky, clunky, or operation. So if you divide I by this, you flip it over. If you multiply it, you flip it over. And so you've got 1 times 100 over T times R. And that's why we get that. This is the second algorithm or formula you finally got. P equals to I times 100 over T times R. And that's where you begin the next bit. So that's it. That's how we're going to tackle problems when we get percentage and principles to calculate from percentage or interest. How we use a way of solving a problem, how we use formulas. You just learned how to get to the formula. In the next video, you'll learn how to apply it. So we'll review both the formulas and give you some word problems to do, and maybe look at the patterns by which you get to formulas. So that's it. Take care. Have a great day, and bye-bye.